This video is sponsored by PotownStore.com, the best place to get yourself some TCGO code cards. Whether you're looking for that last card to complete your online deck or just to get the latest booster packs in town, they literally have everything, and you can use the coupon code ZapDoesTCG for 5% off on your complete order. Then there's also Cardmarket.com. This is a European platform where you're able to buy and sell cards to people all across Europe. I personally use it every single day to get rid of cards that I don't need, to get the cards that I really need for competitive tournaments. Also, this video is sponsored by YourPlaymat.com. This is a website to create your own custom playmat. Ideal for the new season. Upload your favorite wallpaper or unique logo and they turn it into a beautiful playmat. You can get 10% off by clicking the link down below, and they ship worldwide, so definitely check it out. Last but certainly not least is DragonShield.com. There are links down below for Europe and US people all alike, and you're going to be able to, of course, buy sleeves, binders and deck boxes, which of course Dragon Shield is the best brand out there to protect those beautiful cards. The sleeves are very good. As you can see, they shuffle really well, and I definitely recommend everybody getting a couple of these sleeves. Thanks for sticking around with the commercials, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace! What's up YouTube, it's ZapDoesTCG here, and welcome back to our TCG video on my channel. On this channel you get daily Pokemon TCG content, so be sure to hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. About 50% of the people that are watching the videos are not subscribed, which baffles my mind because we're already at 41,000. So anyhow, with that being said, today we are going to be checking out a tier list of the Silver Tempest set. Silver Tempest finally releases worldwide on the 11th of November, and pre-releases start this weekend. I'll be attending one, so hopefully I'll be able to pull myself some Lugias or Regidragos, because as a matter of fact, this set is not going to be the most impactful set that we've gotten. Lost Origin brought so many archetypes to the table, like Kyurem. We also had Zoroark, there was the Giratina decks. So many great things came from Lost Origin that we are a little bit spoiled in that sense. But with, of course, the Silver Tempest, we're still getting some new archetypes, but there's not going to be plenty of them that are going to be like tier 1, that are going to be very good. That being said, Lugia is very good, and in this video we will be discussing a tier list. This is going to be my personal opinion. If your opinion is different, let me know in the comments why you would put a specific deck higher or lower in the tier list. So I'm already like super hyped on the Silver Tempest set. I've been making a lot of content. Hopefully you guys are appreciating it. If you guys are excited for today's video, be sure to let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. And without further ado, let's start this tier list. So what do we have here is my usual. We have tier 1. These are the best decks in the format. The format is a little bit centralized about these specific decks because they're just that good. They're also very difficult to counter, so it's very hard to, of course, make sure I'm going to be countering all the best decks. It's going to be pretty difficult because they're just so good and consistent. So that's a BDIF competition there in the tier 1. Then there's tier 1.5, which can almost be a tier 1 deck, but sometimes are lacking a little bit of consistency here and there. Tier 2 are having a lot of bad matchups, so you could say I'm playing a tier 2 deck. They have some polarized matchups here and there, or also you're fighting against your own consistency. Then tier 3 are still decks that are lurking around at tournaments. Sometimes you could be bumping into one. And then we also have the category don't play this. This is my personal opinion on why you should not play a specific deck. So Silver Tempest, we already made a top 10 best cards video. Go check that video out as well after this video, so you're up to date with the best cards that we're going to be getting. Also, something you should note is that we also made for the Silver Tempest a bunch of Japanese deck lists. I posted them over on the video, so you're going to be able to create all these decks instantly. So let's just get it straight out of the way. Lugia VSTAR has already seen a huge amount of results, and I'll be putting Lugia VSTAR on the tier 1.5 here. It's not the best deck in the format. It is also easily counterable. So Lugia VSTAR all revolves around its ability to slap down Archeops on the bench. Archeops is a very fantastic Pokemon as it allows you to accelerate 2 special energies straight from the deck. So that's very great. That's like Vikavolt territory right there. Accelerating energies from the deck is very, very good. And it's special energies nevertheless. That means you can have powerful Cars energy, you can have double turbo energy, you can have the new V Gardenia discard energy. So many special energies is going to be fantastic to play Lugia. You can even play single strike energies and pair with Gengar VMAX. I've seen some Japanese people do that. So there's a lot of capabilities right there. What else do we have? Of course, it's a main attack, the Storm Dive, slaps 220 and you may discard a Stadium. The cool thing is that with Choice Belt, you're already 250. With 2 powerful Chaos Energies, you're knocking out V-Stars, and that's going to be very good. You can do that on your second turn, assuming you go first. That's going to be very, very powerful. Lugia also has resistance to fighting, so specific fighting type Pokemon are not going to be an issue whatsoever. It is weak to Lightning, but because we have Dunsparce in the format, you're going to be getting rid of that weakness altogether, and you can be using Cheren Scare with this card as well. Yeah, I'm putting it on tier 1.5 because there can be a lot of counters for it. Stuff like, for instance, the what is it? The temple, the snow temple. What is it? Is it called that neutralizes all the special energies effects? So that could be an annoying thing to be dealing with. There's also Beedrill, which can lurk itself back in the format and one-shot you. There's of course Regieleki and the Regi deck that can smack you, and there's the new Regieleki VMAX, which is gonna be helping out the Vikavolt deck. So yeah, tier 1.5 for me. It can of course revolve itself into tier 1 if we can have a very consistent list, but for now tier 1.5 is where I'd put it. Moving forward, Regidrago. I was doubting to put Regidrago in tier 3 because after testing it is actually pretty clunky. But you do have that built-in ability. You can discard the top 7 cards of your deck and then get 2 cards back from the discard pile. Hopefully discard a lot of dragon type Pokemon. The Apex Dragon attack allows you to of course copy any attack from your dragon type Pokemon in the discard pile. So if that is not clear, you're having a lot of dragon type attackers. You have Duraludon VMAX as a way you can of course hit through all the effects and abilities. You have of course the Giratina VSTAR, which allows you to slap 280. You have the Dragonite in the set, which actually comes back with 180 and accelerating 3 energies from the deck, meaning you have capabilities like full blitz by your side because of that new Dragonite. You can also put in Goodra VSTAR in your discard pile, so you can copy the attack of the Rolling Iron or Iron Tackle or whatever it is, so you're having 80 reduction done to you. So lots of capabilities with of course a lot of dragons in the format, but I think it's very hard to set this up. It needs Grass, Grass, Fire. That means you can set it up with Arceus VSTAR, but if you're doing that, you're probably better off utilizing Arceus VSTAR to accelerate onto a Giratina, which can then take all the threats down. So in that sense, I don't think the Arceus is the way to go. You could be playing with the Comfy and the Lost Zone engine with Mirage Gate. I see that a little bit more plausible, as you can also play the Regidrago that can slap 240 as a one price option, seeing as it needs the same attack cost. You can also use Leafeon, its ability with greening cells to accelerate energy early on, so you have your second turn Regidrago VSTAR. The problem I see is that we don't have ways to consistently draw. Back in the days, Mewtwo and Mew Tag Team GX had the same kind of gimmick to it. You can copy attacks from your GXs in the discard pile, but the thing was that we had the Dene GX, which can draw to your deck. You had Cherish Ball to search out your GXs. Now we have no ways to search out our dragon type, so we need to rely on to something like an evolution incense, which makes it pretty clunky in the first place. Other than that, you could also of course not find all your stuff instantly because these dragon types are not searchable. So you have evolution incense, quick ball. You could rely on your ability, but with your ability you could also discard your Regidrago, so you will need ordinary rod. You can also utilize Gardenia's Vigor to of course accelerate the energies, but that only draws 2 cards and only accelerates to the bench, so lots of headaches with Regidrago. And inherently the attack is very strong because there's a lot of things you can do. You can even play the Garchomp, which allows you to snipe 220. Yeah, great things, but it needs a very great list, so I'm doubting it to be like tier 3 for now, but I'll give it the benefit of the doubt that somebody will crack the list, and we're putting it in tier 2. Moving forward, we're going to be talking about Serperior VSTAR. I personally would not play this. There's a reasoning behind that. Serperior VSTAR allows you to slap 190 and you can move around all your energies, right? So that means you can make sure you can then Cheryl, but the problem is lots of lists are playing Escape Rope, lots of lists are playing Cross Switcher, lots of lists are playing Boss's Orders, and even the new Serena will come into decks. Serena is like a draw supporter, allowing you to discard up to 3 cards from the hand in order to draw cards until you have 5 in hand. On top of that, you also have the Boss's Orders effect, which can gust up V Pokemon with Serena. So Serperior is going to be one of those Pokemon. Maybe you can play like that tool card that is going to make yourself immune from supporters. But then again, you can also get gusted up by item cards like Cross Switcher. So I personally would not play Serperior. Also 270 is not the biggest HP ever. And now that I think about it, there's a lot of things that can one-shot you. You of course have the Lugia VSTAR. You have the Giratina VSTAR. So the Giratina VSTAR, you even have the Hisuian Zoroark VSTAR, Kyurem VMAX. Way too many things can one-shot you, so I personally would not be playing Serperior VSTAR. Moving forward is Blizzy V. I'm going to be talking about Blizzy V for a little bit because it does gain that V-Guard energy, putting its HP to like, they have to slap 330 damage into you, which is like insane. Blizzy V, of course, has the capabilities of walling out decks with Miltank. So Blizzy here, would it become better? I think so. With the V-Guard energy, I think Blizzy is actually a viable deck. I know you have to be afraid of things that can one-shot you, but with the V-Guard energy, you're making yourself a little bit more tanky, and that's exactly what Blizzy needed, because with V-Guard energy, the Giratina VSTAR is not able to, of course, use the Lost Impact to KO you. So there are going to be a lot of situations where the V-Guard energy will come into play. Definitely, you could even think about combining it with Radiant Gardevoir to make a really crazy tanky Blizzy V. And that's why I think that's a really great deck right now. Does have some polarizing matchups here and there, but it has the Marnie Path, and the Marnie Path has been proven very, very strong. Okay. Moving forward, are there any other decks? The Rotom VSTAR is a tier 3 deck. I know people have been seeing some success with the Scrappy Pulse. You can slap 80 damage and put tool cards from your discard pile into the Lost Zone for everyone you put there. 40 additional damage. It needs 2 lightning energies to utilize its attack. And I've seen some Japanese lists doing pretty well, but I still think it's a tier 3 deck. Low amount of hit points, you only have 250, and if you want to have like a glass cannon where you're able to one-shot stuff, you're better off just playing Giratina VSTAR, which is able to KO pretty much anything in the format, and also comes back with a shred attack. So talking about Giratina, it is still going to be tier 1. It's still rocking up the scene over in Japan. It's not going anywhere. The Lost Zone box is definitely a viable deck. You can use Sableye if you want as a one prize option. You still have Cramorant. There's of course ways you can have, of course, the Lost Vacuum to get rid of some annoying big charms here and there. You could also make sure if the opponent is playing V-Guard energy to counter you, you can counter that back with Fan of Waves. So Giratina VSTAR can counter its counters, and it's super hard to just counter a Giratina VSTAR in the first place. I think it's a strong deck because VSTARs have 280 HP, and Giratina VSTAR does hit those numbers, and on top of that, it has come a long way since its initial release, and people are now seeing that it's definitely tier 1, and you can use the Lost Requiem or the Requiem Star Requiem, yeah, to just evaporate opponents instantly if they are not playing a big Parasol. So strong for sure. Talking about another like dragon type Pokemon, we had the honor of meeting Goodra. We're gonna be putting that in tier 2. Goodra VSTAR with Arceus is still great, and now even gets the help of the V-Guard energy and even a couple of Serenas to help with its consistency. So usually this deck runs like 2 Balsasaurus, but if you swap those Balsasaurus with, of course, a Serena, you have more draw power in the early phases of the game. Also something you could do with the Giratina VSTAR, by the way, you can turn those Balsasaurus into Serena, which is something that's going to be happening in a lot of these decks early on in this format, because EXs only will come in February with Scarlet and Violet, and now Serena will be having its best heyday. Now Mew VMAX, I know Drapion is still a thing, but it does gain that new Forest Seal tablet. The Forest Seal Stone puts Mew VMAX in tier 1. You could say like, why is that? Well, the Forest Seal Stone is an item card, is a tool card that you can equip to one of your V Pokemon, and it actually gives you a V-Star ability. If you utilize that ability, you can search your deck for any one card. Mew VMAX was lacking a V-Star ability, and now it has one. The cool thing is, with the tool card, you're also path proof. In the past, like, oh, path to the peak, I'm done for. Well, with this, you have outs to path to the peak, because of the fact that Path to the Peak does not shut down the ability on the tool card, only on the Pokemon, which means the Forest Seal Stone can still be utilized even if Path to the Peak is in play. So if you get like Marnie Path, doesn't matter, as long as if one of your Genesects has that Forest Seal Stone, you're gonna be in a great position. Also will help you out to dunk more oftenly with the Meloetta shenanigans, as we've come to know in the past with the Alessa Sparkle. Sometimes you're whiffing out on the Fusion Energy, sometimes you're whiffing out on the Alessa Sparkle. Well, with the Fusion, with the Forest Seal Stone, you're gonna be able to find your last puzzle piece. So you can even play 2 copies or even 3 copies in the list if you want. But it's gonna help out Mew VMAX, even though Drapion is around. And another fun fact is, if you are super afraid of Drapion, you can tech against Drapion by playing V-Guard Energy, Big Charm, and Oricorio up on your bench. This will mean that you have 30 reduction with the V-Guard Energy, 20 reduction with the Oricorio, putting you to 360 with the Big Charm. You're going to be surviving a hit from Drapion V. So that's kind of like spicy, I know. But Mew VMAX is going to be tier 1 until it rotates probably. Moving forward, let's just talk a little bit about the Regis. This is probably the only one prize deck is still remaining. We're gonna be putting it in, it's tier, it does gain Serena, so we're gonna be putting it in tier 1.5. Like before, you had like those bosses that clunks up your hand. And that's something you definitely don't want to be seeing with Reggie. But now Serena is also a draw supporter in the early phases and a gusting card in the late game. It's gonna help out Regigigas, mark my word. It's a tier 1.5, and people of course can be playing the Lost Cities, the Collapsed Stadiums, etc. But it's the only one prize deck that can keep up with the meta game right now. I'll putting it in tier 1.5, and as a little bonus, you also gain the capabilities of one-shotting Lugia VSTAR with Regieleki. The problem is they could be running Dunsparce, and if they're running Dunsparce, you will need, of course, to run Boss again, because, or maybe the Regieleki that can snipe, because otherwise you're not going to be able to touch Dunsparce because you're running Serena. So it's a vicious circle of what can you tech and what will people bring against you. Talking about some more tier 1s, let's get it out there. Palkia VSTAR, still tier 1. These are like the tier 1 buddies over here. I'll put it here. The Palkia VSTAR has proven itself ever since the World Championships that it's, or actually since before that, even NAIC, so that it's one of the best, if not the best deck in format, because the Shady Dealings engine is that busted. With the Drizzle, you can get out any trainer card from the deck. With the Shady Dealings Inteleon, you can of course get 2 trainer cards from the deck. With Irida, you can get a water Pokemon and trainer card, and you can basically get anything out of your deck. You have Radiant Greninja, which is a threat, which can snipe 90-90 as an option, but is your draw engine throughout the course of the game. You have cross switchers, so you can utilize cross switchers on top of a Melanie. You can use Roxanne Path. There's a lot of great things to love about Palkia. I'm just a little bit concerned about the fact that people will be utilizing the V-Guard energies, and that will put the territory of Palkia's damage output a little bit on the lower end. Mew VMAX can of course counteract that with like Silene Palpad. That means it can get back its tablets, or maybe it's running the Fusion Strike energy, so you can utilize the Melodious Echo for a bazillion amount of damage, where Palkia is going to be cutting short. Some Arceus builds will be playing that V-Guard energy, and then Palkia will no longer be able to punish them going like, they go first, you have an attachment, the V-Guard energy onto your Arceus, then you're safe from attacks from the Palkia. That was the Temple of Sinnoh that I was thinking about earlier. So Temple of Sinnoh can counter Lugia, but can also counter the V-Guard energy. So there's a lot of merit behind playing the correct cards for the correct meta. So it's a little bit over predicting. The meta is getting super large. We haven't seen a rotation for a long period of time. So yeah, so many great decks in the format, and most of them are like legendaries, just like Giratina, Palkia, Mew, Lugia, Reggie. All of these Pokemon are almost legendaries. With Pokemon giving legendaries such a huge power. Tier 3 is Arceus with Giratina. I've been playing this deck quite a bit, and it has such horrible hands with it. I don't know what it is. It's like a worse version of Flying Pikachu. With Flying Pikachu, you had the luxury of course having free retreat, so you can Trinity Charge going like second. With this deck, if you go second and you cannot like get your stuff going, you're gonna get bossed and slapped around. You would need probably like 2 Rhyhorns, and even then it doesn't save you because you get outclassed by the Lost Stone Tina. So I'll personally put it in tier 3 after testing. So if your opinion is different, let me know down below in the comments. Next is Thor's favorite deck. In this format, it is going to be Lost Zone Box. He won Peoria with it, so it is very great. Let's see here. It doesn't change too much, to be honest. You can be playing Serena if you want to have like some gusting outs, but this deck just has pure consistency. Like as quickly as possible. You're running Paths, you're running the Lost Vacuum, you're playing Escape Ropes, you're going so quickly, and the sporadic damage with Sableye is good. On the other hand, there's a Serena Radiant Star. Actually, not Radiant Star. A Radiant Serena, which can heal 20 from all of your Pokemon. That could be kind of annoying for Sableye to deal with if you want to be attacking against Sableye, but this is also a one price archetype that is still around and doing quite well. So I'll put it here, tier 1.5, because Charizard is very strong with Choice Belt. You're hitting the numbers. And yeah, you might be afraid of like a V-Guard energy, so Charizard does no longer hit the numbers. But with that sense, Sableye can then finish off as well. So strong deck for sure. Any other new decks? I think we've already talked about all the new decks. As I said, Silver Tempest doesn't contain the most amount of cards, and the best cards is probably like Lugia, to be honest. Lugia has a lot of capabilities. You might be a big fan. Oh yeah, I still have one more, yeah. Vikavolt with the Regieleki VMAX. I'll put it in tier 2 because I'm a believer that item lock is great. That means people are no longer able to play down their hand like quick balls, like switch outs, like tool cards. It's very great against Lost Zone engine decks. It is great against Palkia. Now you can actually one-shot a Palkia. For the people that don't know, Regieleki VMAX comes back with the ability stating that your basic lightning types slap 30 more damage. This also stacks. So if you have 2 Regieleki VMAXs out, you're slapping 60 additional damage with your basic lightning Pokemon. If you're combining that with Vikavolt's Paralyzing Bolt with 50 damage, you're slapping 110. Slap a Choice Belt out of nowhere, you're starting to one-hit KO Palkia VSTAR because of weakness and putting them in an item lock. So pretty much you have a favorable matchup against Palkia. Against Giratina, you can also now two-shot, which is great. And against Mew, they're not going to be able to play the game if they're not able to play down Ultra Ball, Quick Ball, their Cramomatics, everything. It's going to be crazy. This item lock, I have some high hopes for it. Is it better than Regidrago? Probably not, because it also has some consistency issues. And 210 is also on the lower end for HP-wise. Okay, Eternatus. I don't know how to feel about Eternatus. Should we put it in Don't Play This? You can get evaporated by Giratina. Giratina can get your Crobats from the bench with some boss action. You do hit Mew VMAX for weakness. You have a horrible time against Palkia. Lugia VSTAR. I don't know. Eternatus is always in a bad situation because of the fact that there's Roxanne Path, and then this deck pretty much does nothing. It hasn't seen success now. Why would it be better now? Are there any cards that can help out Eternatus? I don't see it. If I'm wrong, let me know, but I put Eternatus in the Don't Play This category. I could be proven wrong instantly, but it is what it is. Tier 3 is Dialga VSTAR with the comfy shenanigans, or you can also play with the Mew from Celebrations. Just getting that attack off. Chrono Star, attacking twice in a row. I actually beat a Dialga during the Lille Regional, so it is very strong, but it also has those turns where if you don't set up, you're just way too slow. And that's why I'm putting it in tier 3. Also, you don't hit anything specifically for weakness except for the Kyurem deck, but in that sense, the Kyurem deck has been on a decline in popularity, even though it was the most popular deck during the Peoria Regionals, if I'm not mistaken, but it has been seen a little bit less of a success. Also, Ice Rider is nowhere to be found in this format. It has been outclassed by Kyurem. Talking about Kyurem, I'll put it in tier 1.5. These decks actually can win tournaments, so I'll put it over there. Urshifu, I also wouldn't play Urshi because Urshifu VMAX is getting caught in the crossfire where everybody's playing Manaphy. Tina is playing Manaphy. Palkia is playing Manaphy. Sableye is playing Manaphy. So what you gonna be doing? Also, you have Lugia has resistance, so that's bad to be playing Urshi at this point. Zoroark tier 3. Although there's a lot of believers out, maybe tier 2. Yeah. Is it tier 2? I cannot make up my mind about Zoroark. There's a lot of people that are playing it, but I'm personally not a fan of it. So does that make me a non-believer in Zoroark? I'll put it in tier 2 for now, even though it's not the best deck out there. As mentioned, it is not getting the results that I'm expecting from a tier 2 deck. It's still Zoroark though. It got a top 8 here and there, so it punishes on 2 prize Pokemon that need setup, so you're a little bit faster, so you can knock out the Pokemon that still need to evolve. Flying Pikachu is tier 3 together with like Tina. I don't know. These like are probably like the same. You can splash in the 1/1 line. Flying Pikachu is not the deck it used to be, although Flying Pikachu, now that I think about it, can hit Lugia for weakness, but then they're playing Dunsparce, so still tier 3. They're gonna be playing Dunsparce, let's be honest. If you're playing Lugia, play Dunsparce, or you're gonna be smacked by random Rotoms and Flying Pikachus or Vikavolt, so or Regieleki. So they're probably gonna be playing Dunsparce, let's be honest. And if they're playing Dunsparce, you're just a deck, a three prize deck that is not doing too much. You're immune from basics, but have you looked at the format recently? Sableye can hit through you. Reggie is the only thing, Reggie and Blizzy are the only things that you can lock down on, and those are not the most popular decks in the room. Then Mewtwo Control. Some people will crack Mewtwo Control in this format because there's so many energy accelerators. I don't know if there's a room for Mewtwo Control, but with V-Guard Energy, I have some high hopes for Mewtwo because Mewtwo has a lot of HP. 310 with Big Charm, 340 with the V-Guard Energy. You're having 370 HP. With infinite healability, is that even a word? You can heal a lot with its full recovery attack, healing 200 at a time. People will crack this, mark my words. Maybe Standard Logic, maybe somebody else. Mewtwo VUNION, look at it. The Duraludon VMAX is still a tier 2 deck. Looks like all these dragons are tier 2. It's gonna be great because Lugia is playing a lot of special energies. A lot of Mews are playing the DTE build, which is good for you as well. You block the Regis if they don't find their path, so Duraludon is just a safe deck. Has some great matchups across the board, but also has a lot of weaknesses like Kyurem can one-shot you, Tina can one-shot you. Sometimes Palkia can overrun you if you don't get your ideal setup. So moving forward, the Beedrill. Arceus Beedrill, I'll still put it in tier 3. The reason for that is that, okay, you can one-shot Lugia, you can one-shot Blizzy, but there's way too many basic energy builds in the format. Kyurem, Giratina, Palkia, these have basic energies, and that's why Beedrill won't work in every situation. But if you want to be that Beedrill guy, you can punish Mew VMAX, Blizzy, Lugia. They can also play Big Parasol, and out of nowhere your deck sucks, but yeah, Beedrill still a thing. Then there's Arc Intel. I'll put that in tier 2 because Arc Intel with V-Guard Energy and Big Charm and Radiant Gardevoir is one hell of a tanky dude. So Gardevoir 20 reduction, V-Guard Energy 30 reduction. You can even play the Lake Equity as well with more reduction if you have water energies as well. There's a world out there where you have your ideal setup. You have Lake Equity or whatever. You have your V-Guard Energy. You have your Radiant Gardevoir up on board. So all those combined is a 70 reduction. You have your Big Charm equipped. That means they will need to slap 380 to knock out Arceus VSTAR. That's pretty crazy. And you can use Cheren Scare. So people might revisit Arc Intel. AI is still a thing. So I'll put it. Yeah, this seems great though. Yeah, this is my tier list for now. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the tier list prediction. If you guys enjoyed today's upload, as you can see, with Silver Tempest, we're only getting a tier 1.5 Lugia deck. If it gets refined, maybe I can go to tier 1, but I doubt it. Then there's Regidrago, tier 2, Vikavolt, tier 2. They are decks, but they're not going to be having that much impact on the format. So that's Silver Tempest, the tier list. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. Helps out in many ways. Go check out our sponsors. The links are down below for everything. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow for more Pokemon TCG epicness. So rock the hell out of the like button. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for more epicness. Peace.